Hey, what up? It's Brad with Home Love Construction, and in this video, I'm going to answer the question of what is required for a building permit in the state of Florida. Home Love Construction is a general contractor in the Tampa Bay area. We're a design build firm. We design beautiful projects and then we build them. And obviously what goes along with that is a lot of dealing with the building department, or as I like to call them, the stop building department, because that's what they actually do. But that's for another video. In fact, there is a video about that. But the point is, what do you need to do in order to let these suckers, well, this is what we'll call them, let these people who supposedly are just there for safety, how do we get them to allow us to build, right? What is required? Obviously, you can see my attitude towards this is I don't enjoy it, but it has to be done nonetheless so we can stay legal. So what you need for a building permit is you need a couple things. One, you need a building permit application, obviously. Each municipality is gonna have a form where you fill out a bunch of data about your property and what you're planning on doing to the property as far as improvements. So that's one. Number two, you will need a drawing of some sort. If you are doing anything to the structure of the building, just assume that you're gonna need an engineered set of plans. That is a really stable point that most counties will not issue a building permit if there is even a hint of structural work without having an engineer saying that it's being done to Florida Building Code and safely. So that's a requirement for most renovations, is engineered plans. In addition to that, you're going to need to list all of the what's called Florida product approval codes. If you're curious about what that is, Google that. That's basically a number that says that, for example, windows have been tested and are rated to withstand the winds in your area, and windborne debris and stuff, the stuff that's gonna come and hit the windows, it's not gonna break, basically, is what that says. That number certifies that. You have to have a list of all those and a drawing of where they're going on the house. And sometimes they even have to be called out on the plans, depending on the municipality. In addition to that, if you're using a general contractor to do your work, you have to have what's called a notice of commencement. This notifies the county essentially that the contractor has a right to put a mechanic's lien on the house in the event of non-payment. That is a requirement by the county. They have to inform you of that and file it, and it has to be recorded and all this stuff. And then finally, the last piece that you need is in some counties, in some areas where there's low-lying areas, you also have to have what's called a flood zone affidavit, which basically says that we're aware that this is in a flood zone and either we're building above the high water line, or if we're building below it, we're meeting the requirements that basically FEMA, which is a national emergency disaster relief body, they have these requirements that you have to meet if you're building below the high water mark. So I know there's a lot going on here, but those basic things, if you go to the county with those, they might have a couple corrections, might need another detail or two, but that 9 times out of 10 is going to get you your building permit, excuse me. So the question is, what if you don't want to do all that? Like, you're like, dude, I'm not doing that myself. Or if you're a homeowner, you're not hiring a contractor, and you're like, the building department won't call me back because I'm not a contractor. Here's what you can do. Home Love Construction offers permitting only services to clients. We actually typically do, I'd say on average, we do about 5 to 10 permits per month in usually in the Tampa Bay area, but we do also do them outside of the Tampa Bay area. So if you need help getting and administering a permit, so what that includes is get all the stuff together that's required to get the permit actually applied for and submitted, and then finally approved and issued to you, and then also calling in the inspections and relaying and figuring out what's going on when you need corrections, because that is the second step that a lot of people miss in the permitting. Is there's the inspections process, and if you don't do the work correctly, or if the work's not done correctly and it's not meeting building code, what the county will do a lot of times is just say reference FBC blah 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 blah, and they just put a bunch of letters and numbers that just look like gobbledygook. What they're saying is refer to this specific building code for this error. Like, it's not in compliance with this building code. If you're not a contractor, it's not gonna make any sense to you. We deal with that all the time, so we literally have the building code books in our office, and our permit people have to go and they look it up and they say, oh, it says this. Well, actually, we're complying with that because blah, blah, blah. So they can either get around those issues, or if there are real issues and it's, you know, out of building code requirements, then we say, hey, contractor, here's what has to happen, blah, 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 this, fix it, and then we'll recall in the inspection. This is all a part of that, this permitting services that we offer. So here's my recommendation. If you have a large project where you're not using one general contractor and you're gonna manage it yourself, but you need help on the permitting side and you want somebody to help decipher it for you, hire us to do it. It doesn't cost that much in the relative scale to what usually big projects are. And so it will save you a lot of time and headache. So we're happy to help you with that. If you want to hire us to do that, go to homelove.construction, submit a contact form, and let us know that you need help with permitting. So I hope this got you some value. I hope that this gets you your building permit from the Stop Building Department. If it did, let me know in the comments and send us an email. I'd love hearing from you. If you have questions about a specific permit, you can do homelove.construction and submit a contact form with your question, or you can email us at homeloveconstruction@gmail.com. That's kind of our catch-all email, so if you have a question, send it there about permitting or construction, really. Thank you for watching. I appreciate your attention. Hit the subscribe button below if you've not already, and I'll see you in the next vid. Peace.